Hello and welcome to Immortal Behaviour for this week.
Many ways to win a game. Get your team home as a halfback. He won the game with his kicking game.
Andrew kicks back and across. It has been a freakish kick by Andrew John.
I thought he'd maybe retire, but forgive me, Father, for I have said.
Maybe God has come to Marathon.
Well, welcome back to Immortal Behaviour. Joey, it's been a few weeks.
Where have you been?
I think I've been around the country.
Having a
Yeah.
jolly.
Have you had fun with Zach?
Yes.
Yep, he's a good egg, Zach.
He's a good egg.
Yep. Did I miss out on anything?
No.
Any controversies?
No.
No. Well, we went travelling around the world too. We went down to Melbourne for
yes.
a few days.
I had the flu from the wave pool.
Did you? Was it the wave?
was so cold.
Was it the wave pool?
Yeah.
And you can catch that. I think it's coming to our screens this week. I've seen a snippet of it. It's very fun.
Good?
Yep. So we go hot air ballooning.
I feel sorry for Semi Thaiday. His wetsuit actually didn't fit.
Hi.
Big dugong traps hanging out. And it was like 10 degrees.
I was worried
ice.
when I was zipping it up that I was going to get some hair in the zip.
Big Sammy. Good
Who
on
did.
you, Sammy.
So we're very excited about Game 2, State of Origin at the MCG. So let's talk a little bit about our Game 2 early thoughts. You're a little bit confident about New South Wales.
Very bullish, very confident. On paper, I think it's got a lot more points. Latrell's there, obviously. He's got that X factor, and funny, you read in the paper, Valentine Holmes is already talking about, I'm going to get in Latrell's face. So he's in their head, and then what it does with such a go-to man on that side, then it opens up for other players because all eyes are on Latrell. So then you can use your back rower or you can kick in behind. So yeah, they're inside their head. It's good.
Do you think that if New South Wales had 13 for Game 1, that we would have won it with that squad, or do you think that Game 2 team is a lot stronger?
I think Game 2, there's more points in this team, definitely. It's hard to get a read on Game 1. New South Wales very brave, but a lot of the a couple of the tries were sort of off a messy finish, and there was a kick to the corner. Jerome Luai kick for Teddy. But yeah, I'm really bullish. I think we can get them.
What do you make about the coaching trading barbs this week? Madge saying a line about glass houses, stirring the pot a little bit. Do we like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's too much nice. Well, Freddie's. No one can hate Freddie. Gal was probably the last one to lit the fuse when he called him two heads. I think he got a little sneaky little payment for that. Wish you did, Gal. No, I think it's really good. Really good. Adds a bit of spice. You always need a bit of spice.
Do you think we'll ever see Bill heading back?
Well, he sort of had the head on a little bit, Billy. And he's a bit like Freddie. It's hard to dislike Billy. Although some people they get into Billy because obviously they went through in the paper some of the indiscretions. He was only guilty on a couple. I think he was not guilty on a lot. But we know Billy. He's a lovely bloke, but he's a Queenslander, so this time of year, tee off, Madge. It's good. It's good.
You know, Bill will be doing everything and anything to fire up his team. They'll be reviewing every single player's, game, what their weaknesses are, what their strengths are. Do you think that he'll be using that hit on Reece Walsh though?
Yeah, for sure.
How do you use it? How do you?
Well, the narrative from Game 1 was they went out deliberately to hurt Reece. So then it's like, they're trying to hurt one of our brothers. We've got to get in, we've got to look after him. And if someone touches someone beside you, all come in and push and shove and get their handbags out. I find it so embarrassing. Just let him punch on. Yeah, he'll use it as motivation for sure. There's a lot of moving parts behind the scenes at the moment. I love it.
With Mitch Moses in the halves at halfback, steering the team around, what does that do for New South Wales' game plan? Does it completely change it? Can he completely change it? How does it impact?
Well, the kicking game, we all know his long kicking game is probably the best in the competition. So with his long kicking game, he can rescue New South Wales out of trouble. But then what he also can do, he can hold momentum with that long kicking game, but he can hold field position, which then, if you do those two things, it applies pressure. And then under pressure, some crack. So game one, there was a sort of a bit of a period where New South Wales really applied the pressure when they got back to 20-12 maybe. But then it was too hard with 12 men. But Mitchell's kicking game adds so much. And then with the ball also, I think they'll really load up on that left side with Latrell and Jerome and Liam played that side? No, Angus.
So with Mitchell's strengths, how much does he then bring to this game too that we might not have necessarily seen in game one?
Well, he's got speed. Nico's one of those steady players. He hasn't got the out-and-out top line speed of Mitchell Moses. And we saw, it was against the Roosters, he went 60 off Regan Campbell-Gillard and no one could run him down. So he adds a lot there. But the big thing with Mitchell Moses, he's been there for 3 games. He understands the speed of the game, what needs to be done to win an Origin game for a halfback. But his kicking game, the kicking game is so important in Origin. It is so important.
Well, he was saying during the week as well that the confidence that he's had built up over the past few years. He's played in a grand final. He's played in State of Origin, so he's got that big game experience. Now he feels like he's sort of.
Confidence has ever been a worry for him. It's been passed down from Uncle Benny Elias. I really like Mitchell. I've worked with him at Parramatta, and he loves the game. He works so hard on his game, and he's. Last couple of years, he's really elevated himself, especially at Origin level. He played really well last year in Game 3. He's ready. He's ready to go. He's an Origin player.
So how do you attack this Queensland side? Do you see any weaknesses that New South Wales can really exploit?
Well, there's no real weaknesses in any teams, any players at this level. And things at clubland, the way you play at clubland doesn't necessarily work at Origin level because you're playing the best players, they're the smartest players, they're the fittest players, they compete so they don't knock off defensively. Now, there's a few areas. I think when Connor Watson comes on in the middle, I think the ruck attack involving Connor and also Dylan Edwards can really put some heat on Queensland around the middle of the field. Queensland right side, that's why I've been so vocal for Cody Walker. He unlocks the left side attack and he brings in his back rower, he brings into play his centre, brings into play the fullback and the left winger. I think game 3 last year, he created 3 or 4 opportunities, try-scoring opportunities, which they scored on down that left side. I think the right side is a target of Queensland, and I think the gap between Daly Cherry Evans and Ballantyne Home, that space between half and centre, that's the area where New South Wales will apply pressure with Angus and Latrell and Dylan Edwards and Jerome floating around there.
And that could be the spot
that'll be the spot I reckon they really target, especially with Latrell there. You get Latrell, you get him one-on-one, doesn't matter who you are, he burns it. You get Latrell with him on 2 defenders, he burns it. So, come on Latrell, wind up, give the big unit the ball and get that douche, that big fend.
The little fend off, yeah. I think he's fired up watching him last week and
he's a big
to
game
him.
player. And look, he's copped so much this year. And, last couple of years, really. And the way Souths have been going, they're on a run now, but the start of the year they'll strike. This is a way to really elevate himself back to that superstar qualities.
Do you know what? I'm actually interested to see. You remember the game where South played Roosters at Allianz Stadium? I can't remember whether it was the opener, and the whole crowd was booing him.
So they got rolled.
And then it was
and then they played the following week.
In the finals.
And about 6 of them got sin bin. I think Victor had 2 stints off.
Yeah.
But Latrell just lit it.
And the crowd was just getting into him, and he was just turning around. I asked him during the week, I said, how do you think the Queensland fans are going to treat you? And he just sort of laughed it off. He's like, too early to think about that. But
once again, all eyes are on him.
Yeah.
The crowd, and with Latrell, the bigger the stage, the more the pressure, the more eyes on him, the better he goes. Superstar qualities.
Yeah, big game player. Before we start comparing DCE and Mitch Moses, I want to ask you though, who do you think is going to be goal kicking for New South Wales? Obviously, we've got heaps of options. Mitchell, Zach, Latrell.
I think Mitchell. Halfback takes it.
Yeah.
I think Mitchell will.
I think he's got a better percentage this year.
I hope he does.
He
just goes in.
Yeah.
Just goes, I'm kicking. You blokes aren't kicking. I'm the kicker.
Well, I think
you go sit over there.
Zach has kicked more goals, but I think that's only because the Dragons have scored more tries.
He's a lovely kicker.
And then obviously Mitch missed. a number of weeks, yeah.
Moses will
Well, he does have, I think he's got an even better career percentage as well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through the halfbacks and rate their kicking games. DCE versus Mitch Moses, long kicks.
Moses.
What about grubbers?
DCE.
Bombs.
6.5 dozen. The other probably lean towards Moses.
Yeah. Chip kicks.
DCE. I've really seen Mitchell chip and chase. It's an art of the game that's really gone out.
I feel like we've seen a few of them recently.
But
Was it
back
the
in
hammer?
day-
Yeah, I know.
back
Used
in
to
the
see,
day,
yeah.
with Phil Blake and Steve Mortimer, they'd do the double chip and chase. Chip over, then chip over the fullback. That was so good.
I think we saw one the other night.
If I had to go chip kicks, I'd probably lean towards DCE.
DCA. Kicking creativity.
Ty.
Okay.
Develop print. Maybe lean towards Daly. Daly's short kicking game is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
On the weekend against
Dragons.
St George,
Yeah.
just laid on a couple of absolute rip. One for Saab and one for Jake. Yeah, he's on top of his game, Daly.
What a battle,
Good
though.
luck tackling Latrell, Daly.
All right, let's talk about the New South Wales back row. Martin Crichton, Cam Murray. Is that one that can really take it up to Queensland?
Definitely. I don't really think on Queensland's left, on our right, they've really put the blowtorch on Tom Dearden. Now, he's a great competitor and really tough, but I think they've got to get the back rowers one-on-one and try to really bully him. Same on the other side. If they get Angus one-on-one with Daly, and I actually saw a clip, a bit of a cheap shot. Daly got Angus on the ground in game one. So, Angus, cop that, mate.
Should we-
Really good back row.
I wonder whether Angus has seen it back. Should we show
I'm
it?
sure
Send it to
he
him.
would. I'm sure Madge would have had it. And Liam Martin, he went on a search and destroy mission in game one. He's what you want in a back rower. He's big, he's mobile, and he's absolutely jets crackers. Throwing Olakau'atu, look, he's the wild card. Olakau'atu, there's times this year and the last year, no one can tackle him. Doesn't matter how good a defensive half or back rower, he just steamrolls him. And Olakau'atu has now developed a pre-line pass. Because he's so big, defences have to come to him, and he's found a pass out the back to his fullback, so he's the wild card. Came on and played a fair bit in the middle, but our back rowers they had no petrol in the tank in game one. I'm really excited by that back row. I'm excited Olakau'atu. Come on, boys.
Out of all the big men, who is the matchup that you're looking forward to most?
Well, in the big men, I think it's Payne Haas. It's been he's had a real challenge thrown out at him, not only from the media. I heard Blocker Roach, one of the great New South Wales front rowers, sort of say, come on, Payne, it's your time to really dominate. Payne versus Ruben Cotter and Lindsay Collins in the middle. I love those three to go at it. With Payne, I know if I was a halfback, every time Payne got the ball, I'd be in his pocket. I'd be sitting outside of him. I'd be doing his thinking and saying, you run here, I'll be in that next gap. I'm in that next gap. Just show to me. Don't pass. Just to get him one-on-one all the time. His tackle breaks compared to clubland are a lot different. But then also they're different players and different defenders. But there's got to be more support around Payne when he gets the ball. And players, Dylan Edwards maybe floating out the back just to get him one-on-one. If you get him one-on-one, you can't tackle him. I get a feeling he's going to have a huge game, Payne. I think he's going to explode.
Can't wait to see that.
Dylan Edwards, Reece Walsh, looking forward to them two going at it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Dylan Edwards at that level. Yeah, good luck, Dylan.
And so this has been so long in the waiting as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, missing game one in such heartbreaking circumstances, he'll be even more fired up. And
But even in game one, where I think he got through till Monday, did he? And then hurt his leg maybe on Sunday or the Monday.
it was I'm pretty sure it was the Saturday.
So he's experienced 4 or 5, 6 days of build-up. So he'll use that experience for this build-up to Melbourne, but he's going to be nervous.
Yeah.
It's nothing like your first game. The butterflies just fell.
And also running out in front of that many people too at the MCG. All right, we were at the MCG the other day, but you've played at the MCG before. What was that experience like?
Well, just the enormity, how big it is, how big a stadium. You run out there and you're looking around. It just goes forever. And the noise pretty much hits you. But it's funny, playing on an oval ground, it can be quite difficult for rugby league. But what I've found running out, just how big it was just looking around. There's 90-odd thousand there. It's amazing stadium.
You've not only played there, but obviously you've been there for Channel 9 in your commentary.
And the AFL.
And the AFL. Do you know the other day at the AFL there was the public holiday match happening. It was Collingwood and Melbourne Demons, and we're sitting inside with a phone watching the Bulldogs and the Eels. It was a good game.
Actually explained the AFL to me. They were explaining zones and everything. Because you look at it, it's sort of, if you don't know what you're watching, but yeah, it was a great experience.
Yeah, who explained it to you?
Couple of guys, older guys next to me.
They were big footy fans.
They were topped up. So they were talking my sort of language.
All right, well, what about for the players running out there for the very first time? Because I think there are only 3 New South Wales players who have ever played there before. So I think it'd be Angus, Jake Trebojevic and Latrell, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it's totally different. For catchers and kickers, especially kickers, you have to get your bearings. I don't even know if it runs north-south, the ground, but in the circumference, there's so much room. I always found I just kick for the corner post. That was my target. I look for the corner post for my long kicks, and that would be my target, because you can really lose your bearings. Really lose.
Well, do we have the 40-20 posts now at Origin, the fluoro ones?
Yeah.
Does that make it easier then? Because then you've got another thing in your...
The corner post is your target.
Yeah.
That's the one you kick for.
So how many training sessions do you feel like you need on the ground?
Yeah, a couple for sure. Like I've told the story before, when in Perth, Optus Stadium a few years ago, Nathan stayed back for about an hour and a half, just getting his bearings and feeling the wind and where it comes and that sort of stuff. And even if you're not kicking, you just got to get out there and just feel and work your angles and feel where the wind is and whether it swirls in there or what. So there's an art to it. You got to do your research. But both coaches being so thorough, especially Billy and Madge, who worked in Melbourne, I've no doubt that they'll have an AFL player and kickers to talk about what they're sort of doing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, it is Billy's hometown as well, so he's got the home ground advantage.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got the farm and he's got this.
All right, before we go, what's your favourite memory from Melbourne?
Favourite? What, when I was playing?
No. When we went down for head of state of Origin.
Crush.
Who is it?
In the hotel and Nick Nat-Nui. Did I pronounce?
Yes, you did.
I hope I pronounced that right. I've met him a couple of times. I think I met him in Fiji when I was over there surfing. Anyway, we got a mutual friend over there. He is the biggest man. Frightening. And he came for dinner with us. He's a good fella.
Yeah. He wants to come.
Him for a while. You can only guess what was terrorised him about. But he was good fun.
Dinner was PG as soon as the desserts came out.
Big Nat.
I think he was asking if he could come sideline for...
Yeah, he wants to come over.
Yeah, for game 2.
He's a big fan of Immortal Behaviour.
Yeah.
So come over, Nick, and you can sit on the sideline with Freddie.
Yeah.
And take your shoes off and go earthing. Good fella, great fella, and loves rugby league. He's talking about how much he loves rugby league and was asking questions about these players and this player. Yeah.
There you go, State of Origin taking over. All right, well, that's all we have time for this week's episode of Immortal Behaviour. Enjoy the footy and, of course, enjoy Origin as well. We'll see you there.
This year, NRL on 9 is your one-stop shop for all footy.
That's right, Freddie. Not about the highlights, action, 7 days a week.
Billy and Gus podcast, get that on your drive on the way home. Immortal Behaviour. Grab a seat on the couch for that. And, of course, my favourite, Freddie in the 8.
The best footy brains, the biggest games.
Don't trust the algorithm. Subscribe to NRL on 9 and get all your entertainment there.